Hello everyone, welcome to GOVidya. Today we are going to come up with an interesting topic, that is bank reconciliation statement. I know that it was a nightmare for most of the students. Even it was a nightmare for me during my 11th standard. But now let us study that in a very simple way. Okay, so bank reconciliation statement, the name itself says that we are going to reconcile the bank statement. But how are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? Why do we need to do it? So all this we are going to learn in this session. Okay, so before going to the actual definition, let us understand with a practical example. Okay, now assume that we have a couple here, Tillu and Radhika. We have a couple here. We always enter into a relationship with a lot of dreams, right? Similar way, even Tillu and Radhika have entered a relationship. They both decided to have a joint bank account. So that's how initially it will be, right? So joint bank account ni open cheyalani decide ayyaru. So what they'll do is, so they will put all the funds of Radhika into joint bank account and even the Tillu also in the joint bank account itself. In our assumption, we are assuming that Tillu and Radhika are not having any personal bank accounts. They are having only this bank account. So at the end of the month, let's say that as on 30th September, they have summed up together 50,000. Okay, Radhika and Tillu together, they have added 50,000 into the joint bank account. So, this 50,000 bank account ki, they have to consider all the expenses and the incomes. Everything related to that will be from our joint bank account only. So, this 50,000, let's say that Tillu needs an emergency of 20,000. So 20,000 emergency need, so Tillu has utilized that out of this 50,000. But Tillu has not informed to Radhika. Okay, so Tillu has not informed to Radhika, but he has utilized 20,000 out of this 50,000. As per Tillu, what is the bank balance now? 30,000. Why only 30,000? Because 20,000 he has utilized it for his personal purpose right now. But if you think as per Radhika perspective, what is the closing balance? 50k only. Why? She is not aware that Tillu has withdrawn that 20,000. Now, as per her 50,000, as per him 30,000. Now, on a other date, Radhika also needs some funds. So, she has utilized 10,000. How much she has utilized? She has utilized it 10,000. Similarly, even Radhika also has not informed to Tillu. But if you see the closing balance, as per Radhika, how much would be the closing balance? 40k. Because she is not aware of the 20k expenses spent by the Tillu. As per Tillu, what is the closing balance? 30,000. Because he is not aware that she has spent 10,000 on some other X. Right? Only we know the scenario. What is the closing bank balance? What is the closing bank balance? 50,000 minus 20k, which is spent by Tillu, minus 10k, which is spent by Radhika. So technically the closing balance as per the bank is 20,000. Now, finally, the day has arrived. So they both decided, because of the hurdles or the obstacles between them, they both decided to break this joint bank account. Okay. So what they will do, they will be reconciling it, right? So reconcile chesinapudu, as per Radhika, she says that the bank balance is 40k now. So let's segregate it and close this. But Tillu objects that, he says that no, the bank balance is only 30k. Now they both have again clashes on it. So they both sat and started reconciling it, right? So if 50,000 undali, how much you have spent, how much I have spent. So they started reconciling it. With what they are going to reconcile? With the bank statement. With the bank statement they are going to reconcile it. So at the end of the day they will identify that we have only 20k in the bank account, right? So to arrive this 20k, what they have done, so as per their records, వాళ్ళ records ప్రకారం 50k ఉంది and they have collected the bank statement. They are cross checking it. 10k deduction ఉంటుంది, 20k deduction ఉంటుంది, which is spent by both Tillu and Radhika, right? So this is how they have arrived the closing balance. Hope you understood this concept, right? Similar way for a business entity, for any business organization. So cash book ante that is nothing but the ledger that which we are maintaining, that we are going to cross check with the bank statement, right? So let us come to the definition now. So bank reconciliation statement is nothing but a statement which is prepared to reconcile. The name itself says, right, it's a reconciliation. So what are we going to reconcile here? The difference between the bank balance as per the cash book and the passbook. So what is this cash book and passbook? So passbook and the cash book. Passbook ante manam bank account open chesinappudu they will be issuing one book, right? So that we can call it as, but now instead of that, in our day-to-day life, instead of that physical book, we are using the bank statement now. But don't change the word passbook. So better understanding kosam, passbook is nothing but bank statement. Clear? Now cash book is nothing but our bank ledger. Our bank ledger. So in our previous sessions we have prepared that ledgers, right? Cash ledger, bank ledger, all those. So similarly here cash book ante bank account. So don't get confused that we have two different things here, right? Cash account and the bank account. Okay, so cash ledger and the bank ledger. So as per the books of accounts, cash account ante whatever actual ga physical cash receive అయినప్పుడు or physical cash pay చేసినప్పుడు, that we are going to prepare the cash account or the cash ledger, right? Bank account ante or the bank ledger which we prepare, which is related to the bank. So bank statement lo emaina deposit aina or bank statement nunchi edaina withdrawal aina, so all these are related to bank account. Now so here cash book annar kada ani, we are not going to reconcile with the cash ledger. We are going to reconcile only with the bank account, not with the cash account. Clear? So cash book annanta matrana we are not going to reconcile that with the cash ledger or the cash account. We are going to reconcile only with the bank ledger that is maintained by us with the bank statement for a better understanding. But actually you have to write it as a passbook only. Clear? So this is a bank reconciliation statement. We are preparing a statement. Which statement? Reconciliation statement. For what purpose? To identify if there is any difference between the bank balance as per cash book, which is nothing but bank ledger maintained by us, and the passbook, which is nothing but bank statement. Clear? Now what are we going to achieve it by performing the bank reconciliation statement? By performing this bank reconciliation statement, we are going to identify the errors if there are any errors. Either it could be numerical errors or any transactional incorrected. Either it could be numerical errors or the non-numerical errors we can identify here. Prevents the fraud. So to prevent the fraud also we are going to prepare the bank reconciliation statement, and also to it ensures the accuracy. So technically whether those balances are matching or not, either correct ga enter chesama leda ani, we are reconciling it. We are confirming that all those transactions which we recorded as per the cash book and the passbook are correct. Clear? So to ensure all this, we are preparing the bank reconciliation statement. Now, so there I said that there might be a difference between the cash book balance and also the bank book balance, right? Or the passbook balance, right? So now what would be the reasons for causing that difference? So majorly you will see 5 type of differences. So out of those 5, these are the 4 major reasons which you see it. Okay, so checks issued but not presented. Checks issued but not presented. That means we have issued the check. Who has issued? Entity has issued the check. That means entity is supposed to pay some payment to some X vendor. So oka entity X vendor ki payment cheyali ante, either it could make the payment via cash, that is nothing but the hard cash, or via bank transfer, immediate transfer, or entity can issue it via check. Okay, so check issue చేసినప్పుడు immediately the check issue చేసిన వెంటనే it doesn't mean that they have to present it in the bank, right? For example, some X date, some X amount na check issue చేసాం 10th October na. Okay, so as on 10th October some X company has issued for some X amount of check. Okay, so ఈ X amount check issue చేసాం కదా అని సేమ్ డేట్ నా ప్రజెంట్ చేయాలి బ్యాంక్లో అని అయితే లేదు. ఓకే, చెక్ ఎప్పుడైనా దే విల్ బీ a date bearing date, so that for example 30th October ఉంది. ఓకే, సో ఈ 30th October లోపు this entity has to present the check. It is not obligated or the entity is not obligated that ఒకవేళ ఈ రోజే చెక్ ఇష్యూ చేస్తే ఈ రోజే ప్రజెంట్ చేయాలి అని. It should check the bearing date. If that date on or before that date the entity has to present the check at the bank. ఓకే, సో ఇప్పుడు నేను చెక్ ఇష్యూ చేశాను. ఓకే, సో చెక్ ఇష్యూ చేసామంటే దట్ అమౌంట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి రెడ్యూస్ ఫ్రమ్ అవర్ అకౌంట్, రైట్? సో నేను చెక్ ఇష్యూ చేశాను కాబట్టి దట్ అమౌంట్ విల్ బి రెడ్యూసింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ మై అకౌంట్. సో వాట్ ఐ విల్ డూ, ఐ విల్ డైరెక్ట్లీ నాకు రైట్ దట్ యాజ్ అ లెస్ సమ్ చెక్ డిపాజిటెడ్. ఓకే, యా, సో మైనస్ చెక్ ఇష్యూడ్. ఓకే, సో చెక్ ఇష్యూ అని డైరెక్ట్గా ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకుంటాను. దిస్ విల్ బి మైనస్డ్. ఓకే, ఫర్ అ బెటర్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ cash book. Okay, for a better understanding let us consider CB as a cash book and then bank book as a BB. Don't get confused with the short terms, I'm just writing it for a reference. So CB stands for cash book for now. Okay, చెక్స్ ఇష్యూడ్ బట్ నాట్ ప్రెజెంటెడ్. సో చెక్స్ మనం ఇష్యూ చేసాము. సో చెక్స్ ఇష్యూ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఎంటిటీ హ్యాస్ ఇష్యూడ్ అండ్ ఎంటిటీ ఈజ్ అవేర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. సో ఇట్ విల్ మైనస్ ఇట్. చెక్ ఏమైనా ఇష్యూ అయితే క్యాష్ బుక్లో ఆల్రెడీ మైనస్ అయి ఉంటుంది. బట్ బ్యాంక్కి ఎప్పుడు తెలుస్తుంది, ఓన్లీ వెన్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ప్రెజెంటెడ్ అట్ ద బ్యాంక్. మనం చెక్ వెళ్ళి యా ఐ గాట్ దిస్ అండ్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు ప్రెజెంట్ ఇట్ అట్ ద బ్యాంక్. బ్యాంక్ విల్ గెట్ టు నో ఓన్లీ వెన్ ద చెక్ ఈస్ ప్రెజెంటెడ్ అట్ బ్యాంక్. సో తెలియనంత వరకు బ్యాంక్ ఈజ్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు డిడక్ట్ ఎనీ అమౌంట్. సో హియర్ దెర్ ఈస్ నో ట్రాన్సాక్షన్. సో చెక్ ఇష్యూ చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ ప్రజెంట్ చేయనంత వరకు దే ఆర్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు పర్ఫామ్ ఎనీ యాక్టివిటీ, ఎయిదర్ యాడ్ అయినా లెస్ అయినా. సో మనకి ఐడెంటిటీ మనకు తెలిసినప్పుడు మాత్రమే మనం దాన్ని డిడక్ట్ అయినా యాడ్ అయినా చేయగలం, రైట్? బ్యాంక్ విల్ డిడక్ట్ ఆర్ యాడ్ ఇట్ ఓన్లీ వెన్ ఇట్ గెట్స్ టు నో. విల్ దే గెట్ టు నో వెన్ ద చెక్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ప్రెజెంటెడ్? నో, చెక్ ప్రెజెంట్ చేయలేదు కాబట్టి బ్యాంక్ ఈజ్ నాట్ అవేర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. సో దే హ్యావ్ నాట్ డన్ ఎనీథింగ్. క్లియర్? నౌ చెక్స్ డిపాజిటెడ్ బట్ నాట్ క్లియర్. చెక్స్ ఆర్ డిపాజిటెడ్ బై ది క్లయింట్. చెక్స్ ఆర్ డిపాజిటెడ్ బై ద క్లయింట్ బట్ నాట్ క్లియర్డ్ బై ది బ్యాంక్. సో అంటే చెక్ డిపాజిట్ చేసాము బట్ నాట్ క్లియర్డ్ బై ది బ్యాంక్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇప్పుడు ఎప్పుడైనా ఫ్రైడే అలా బ్యాంక్కి వెళ్తే చెక్ ఇష్యూ చేస్తే దే విల్ బీ సేయింగ్ దట్ దే విల్ కలెక్ట్ ద చెక్ బట్ ఇట్ విల్ బీ క్లియర్డ్ ఇన్ ద నెక్స్ట్ వర్కింగ్ డే, రైట్? బట్ యాక్చువల్గా మన బుక్స్లో ఏంటి, మనం ఆల్రెడీ చెక్ డిపాజిట్ చేసాము. సో వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు యాడ్ దట్. బట్ యాజ్ పర్ ది బ్యాంక్ దే ఆర్ నాట్ గోయింగ్ టు పర్ఫార్మ్ ది ఎనీ యాక్టివిటీ అంటిల్ ఇట్ గెట్స్ క్రెడిటెడ్ టు ది అకౌంట్. క్లియర్? సో మీరు కూడా ప్రాక్టికల్ లైఫ్లో అబ్జర్వ్ చేసి ఉంటారు కదా. సో ఎప్పుడైనా బ్యాంక్స్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు మనం ఒక 10,000 కానీ 50,000 కానీ చెక్ డిపాజిట్ చేయాల్సినప్పుడు, సో ఇఫ్ యూ గో ఆఫ్టర్ 4 ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఇన్ SBI బ్యాంక్ ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ ఈస్, ఓకే, సో ఏదైనా బ్యాంక్స్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఆఫ్టర్ 3 or 3:30 or 4 ఆ టైంలో వెళ్తే, సో దే విల్ టేక్ ద డిపాజిట్ అమౌంట్, they will issue a receipt to you, but the amount will not get credited to your account immediately. They will say that amount will be credited to you only on the next working day, right? So at that time మనం ఏంటి డిపాజిట్ చేసాం కాబట్టి we are going to add it in our books. But ఇంకా బ్యాంక్లో క్రెడిట్ అవ్వలేదు కాబట్టి as per the bank they are not going to consider it now. సో బ్యాంక్ ఛార్జెస్ నాట్ రికార్డెడ్. సో బ్యాంక్ ఛార్జెస్ ఇమ్మీడియట్గా బ్యాంక్కి తెలుస్తాయి, రైట్? సో బ్యాంక్ ఛార్జెస్ అనేవి ఇమ్మీడియట్గా బ్యాంక్కి తెలుస్తాయి. But when are we going to know that? So we are going to know that only when it gets reflected in the bank. So now actually we have to minus the bank charges. నెక్స్ట్ బ్యాంక్ అంతే కదా, ఎప్పుడు పడితే అప్పుడు మన అకౌంట్లో నుంచి ఛార్జెస్ డిడక్ట్ చేస్తుంది అండ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ దెర్ ఆర్ వెరీ లెస్ ఛాన్సెస్, రైట్? సో అలా వితౌట్ అవర్ ఇంటర్వెన్షన్ బ్యాంక్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు పర్ఫార్మ్ ఆల్ దీస్ బ్యాంక్ ఛార్జెస్ అండ్ ది ఇంట్రెస్ట్ రిలేటెడ్ యాక్టివిటీస్. నౌ so direct deposits by the customers, that means customer has directly deposited into the bank. సో కస్టమర్ అనేది డైరెక్ట్గా బ్యాంక్లో డిపాజిట్ చేశారు. సో బ్యాంక్లో డిపాజిట్ చేసినప్పుడు బ్యాంక్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఏమవుతుంది, ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. బట్ ఐమ్ ఐ అవేర్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్? నో. సో బికాస్ కస్టమర్ హ్యాస్ నాట్ ఇన్ఫార్మ్ టు మీ, బట్ హీ హ్యాస్ డైరెక్ట్లీ డిపాజిటెడ్ దట్ అమౌంట్ ఇన్ టు ద బ్యాంక్. Bank is aware of it, but I am not aware of it. So technically I might have not passed any entry. Even for this also I might have not passed any entry for this. Clear? So this is how you have to add and minus it. Okay. Now let us understand what is the format of BRS. So now BRS prepare chese time lo it's not a chicken biryani. CB stands for cash book and BB stands for bank book. Okay, so now we are going to reconcile these two. What are we going to do under BRS? We are going to reconcile this cash book with the bank book. Whenever we are going to reconcile these two, అంటే ఈ బ్యాలెన్స్ నుంచి మనము ఈ బ్యాలెన్స్కి అరైవ్ చేయాలి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, సో నౌ క్యాష్ బుక్ ప్రకారం ఒక 10K ఉంది. సో ఇక్కడ ఒక 8K ఉంది. Okay, so we have already learned what are the issues or what are the causes for the differences between the cash book and the bank book, right? So cash book ప్రకారం మనం ఆల్రెడీ ఏవైతే యాక్టివిటీస్ పర్ఫామ్ చేసామో అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నౌ టు అరైవ్ దిస్ 10K I might have already did plus or minus of few activities, right? సో అప్పుడు అవన్నీ ఏం చేయాలంటే ఇప్పుడు మనము అవి ఉల్టా చేయాలి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇక్కడ నేను ఏదైతే ప్లస్ చేశానో వాట్ ఎవర్ దట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ యాడెడ్ టు అరైవ్ దిస్ 10,000 నౌ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు డిడక్ట్ ఇట్. వై ఆమ్ ఐ గోయింగ్ టు డిడక్ట్ ఇట్? బికాస్ ఆల్ దీస్ యాక్టివిటీస్ హ్యావ్ నాట్ ఇంక్లూడెడ్ బై ద బ్యాంక్. సో బ్యాంక్ అవి ఇంకా ఇంక్లూడ్ చేసుకోలేదు. సో దట్స్ ద రీజన్ టు అరైవ్ దట్. సో ఈ బ్యాలెన్స్ వచ్చింది, ఎలా వచ్చింది అని కన్సిడర్ చేయడం కోసం ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు రివర్స్ దట్. సో ఇక్కడ ప్లస్ చేశాను కాబట్టి మైనస్ చేస్తున్నా, ఇక్కడ మైనస్ చేశాను కాబట్టి మళ్ళీ ప్లస్ చేస్తాను. సో ఇఫ్ ఐ డూ ఆల్ దీస్ యాక్టివిటీస్ దెన్ ఐ విల్ గెట్ టు నో హౌ ది బ్యాంక్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఇస్ స్టిల్ 8K. క్లియర్? సో now I have to reverse whatever the activities that I performed here so that I will be getting the closing balance as per the bank. Clear? Hope this concept is clear. Now let us consider the format. So this is the format of BRS. So we have to always write the heading BRS of the entity, some XXX as on particular date, on which date we are going to perform the bank reconciliation statement. All those we have to mention it. Okay, now format. So this is the format of BRS. Only 2 columns will be there, particulars, or sometimes if it is having multiple dates you can also consider the date column as well. So dates, particulars and the amount. You might have seen few books with the debit and the credit column. Instead of writing the debit and credit column, you can directly use the amount column as well. Okay, so now here we have to write the date. Okay, so date of the transaction should be there. Now, so at top we have to write cash balance or the bank balance. Okay, so I am writing it in a shortcut, but you have to write it as a bank balance as per the cash book or bank balance as per the passbook. Clear? So like that you have to mention it. Okay, so cash balance we have to mention it. Let's say that 10,000 we are mentioning it. Okay, now so add items which are not recorded in the cash book. Add items which are not recorded in the cash book, less items which are not recorded in the passbook. Clear? And ultimately you will get the adjusted bank balances. Now why are we going to add the items which are not recorded in the cash book? Okay, endukante I told you, right, we are going to arrive with the closing balance of cash book to closing balance of bank book. అంటే మన దగ్గర ఉన్న అమౌంట్ని వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు క్రాస్ చెక్ విత్ ద బ్యాంక్ బ్యాలెన్సెస్. ఓకే, సో అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నౌ నేను ఇక్కడ 10,000 ఉంది నా దగ్గర. ఓకే, ఐ హ్యావ్ ఆల్రెడీ ఇష్యూడ్ ద చెక్స్. 2,000 I have already issued the checks. Okay, again 1,000 I have already deposited into the bank. Okay, so ultimately what would be my closing balance as per the cash book? It will be 9,000. Okay, so hope you guys are able to follow it. 10,000 నా దగ్గర cash balance ఉంది and 2,000 I have already issued the checks, so that's why I have deducted it, and 1,000 I have deposited a check, so I have added it, and the remaining closing balance is 9,000. Okay, this is the cash book balance. But similar way when we come to this, so here 10,000 opening balance undi, checks issued but not presented by the bank, that means we have not considered. Check deposited, not considered, but bank charges 500, I have considered it. So what would be the closing balance? 9,500. Okay, so both are related to one entity only, but if you see the cash book or the cash balance as per this, so there is a 9,000. బట్ ఇక్కడ చూస్తే 9,500 ఉంటుంది, రైట్? సో నౌ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు క్రాస్ చెక్ దట్. వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ప్రిపేర్ ద బ్యాంక్ రికన్సిలియేషన్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఫర్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ ఎంటిటీ. ఓకే, సో ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ ప్రిపేరింగ్ ఎనీ బీఆర్ఎస్, సో ఎయిదర్ ఈ బ్యాలెన్స్ నుంచి అయినా బ్యాంక్ బ్యాలెన్స్ని అరైవ్ చేయాలి, ఆర్ ఎయిదర్ ఫ్రమ్ బ్యాంక్ బ్యాలెన్స్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు అరైవ్ టు క్యాష్ బ్యాలెన్స్. ఓకే, సో నౌ మన దగ్గర 9,000 ఉంది. We have to come to 9,500 now. Don't say that just add 500 so that we will get 9,500, right? So it doesn't work like that way. Now, so we are going to analyze each and everything. So opening balance entundi 10,000. Yeah. So now if you see the format here, let us prepare as per the format. Okay, so I'm not writing anything, I'm just writing the amounts. What is the bank balance as per the cash book? It is 9,000. Bank balance as per the cash book is 9,000. Now what I have to do? Add items which are not recorded in the cash book. What are the items that are not recorded in the cash book? That is 500. I am going to add it. Minus items not recorded in the passbook. So what are the items that I have not recorded in the passbook? So this 3,000. So that ultimately I will get 9,000 minus 3,000, 6,000 plus 500. 6,500 I am going to get it. This we call it as a adjusted bank balance. This might sound bit confusing to you. So let us understand in a very easy way. What is the balance? 9,000 is the balance. Okay. Now this 9,000 we are going to arrive to this balance. So ఇక్కడ నేను ఆల్రెడీ 2,000 డిడక్ట్ చేశాను. దిస్ 2,000 వాట్ ఎవర్ దట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ డిడక్టెడ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ కన్సిడర్డ్ యాజ్ పర్ ద బ్యాంక్. సో వాట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు డూ? అగైన్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు ఉల్టా ఇట్, ఐ హ్యావ్ టు రివర్స్ ఇట్. సో దట్ మీన్స్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు యాడ్ 2,000. Next, so here cash deposited I have considered, that means it is considered under the cash book but not considered in the bank book. Then what I have to do? Again I have to reverse the transaction, that means plus will become minus. Now, so here the bank transactions have been considered, but did I consider that in the cash book? No. So what I have to do? I have to consider that. Consider minus 500. So now 9,000 plus 2,000, that will be 11,000. 11,000 minus 1,000, 10,000. 10,000 minus 500, it will be 9,500. Right? So if you see, we have arrived this cash balance with the bank balance. Clear? What we have done? Whatever the transaction that are considered in the cash book, we have reversed it. Reverse chesi manam nullify chestunnamo. Why are we nullifying it? Because the same has not been considered by the bank book, and there are the transactions which are considered by the bank but not by the cash book. So all those we have considered here to arrive the balance as per the bank. Clear? So this is how you have to perform. So you instead of remembering that format, you remember this example or this format, so that it will be easy for you to clear, or it will be easy for you to get the correct answers. So let's come up with a practical example. As per our example, what is the cash book balance? 50,000. So let's draw a BRS. BRS of some X so and so entity as an so and so date. Now, format, dates. We don't have any dates here, so you can ignore the date column. And again particulars and the amount. Date, particulars, and the amount. Date, particulars and the amount. We are ignoring the date column because we don't have the dates there. Now particulars, cash book balance. We are going to write that balance as per cash book, right? Now, so cash book balance, how much we have? 50,000. Now, checks issued but not presented at the bank. What happened? Checks got issued but not presented at the bank. That means we have to add or minus. Checks have been issued by us but they have not yet presented at the bank. That means నా దగ్గర నుంచి నేను చెక్ ఇష్యూ చేశాను. That means it's going to reduce from my bank account. So I'm going to minus it. Minus checks issued. Minus checks issued. Did it present at the bank? No, not yet presented. How much? 5,000. Okay, now bank charges. Bank charges have been considered by the bank, but we have not considered in the cash book so far. So now we are going to consider it. Bank charges should be added or deducted? It should be deducted because it is an expense for us. Our bank balance will be reduced. Bank charges. How much? 500. Now, are there any other transactions left over? No. Now, let us tally it. So, 50,000 minus 5,000, which is 45,000, minus 500, which is 44,500. This is the adjusted cash balance. Adjusted cash balance or adjusted balance as per the cash book, which is 44,500, and it is matching here. Adjusted bank balance is also 44,500. Clear? This is how you have to prepare a bank reconciliation statement. One thing that you have to concentrate here is either you are going to get the bank balance from the cash book or cash balance from the bank book. Either cash C nunchi B ki veltunda or B nunchi C ki veltunda. That should be the clear point. So that then only you will get to know that whether you have to add or minus here. So let's say that in a similar example, in a same question, so now we have prepared cash balance here. Now, so cash balance kakunda bank balance prakaram prepare cheste, the minus will become plus here and the plus, all the signs will be ulta. Clear? So this is how you have to prepare a BRS. So one thing that you have to concentrate is either cash book nunchi bank book arrive avvala or bank book nunchi cash book arrive avvala. So this is the first and the foremost step that you have to concentrate. Okay. So we need to apply our common sense while preparing this BRS. So practical ga manam ee question ni practical ga assume cheskunte, so that we will get to know when to add it and when to deduct it. Clear? Now, so let me come up with a question now. Bank balance as on 30th September 2025, that is 35,000. Bank balance, that means as per the passbook. Now, outstanding checks are 3,000. Outstanding checks, that means still they have not yet presented or still they have not yet cleared. Now, deposits in transit. Deposits in transit means checks have been deposited into the bank but still they have not yet cleared. They have not yet cleared, right? Next, bank charges are 200 rupees. Interest on the savings account 300. Direct debit for the loan repayment. Directly it has debited for the loan repayment. So auto pay అని ఉంటుంది కదా, either it could be from your bank account. You would have seen that auto pay, right? Even in your phone pay as well. Like that, similarly EMI also will get auto deducted from the bank. Now, bank error. A check of 1,000 rupees issued by ABC Limited was mistakenly recorded as 1,200. What does it mean? Instead of 1,000 rupees, they have considered that as a 1,200, which is a numerical error. Now, so this is as per the bank book. Now, as per the cash book balance as on 30th September is 31,500. Unrecorded deposit, that means 4,000. Unrecorded deposit means which is not recorded in the cash book. Clear? So this is the statement and is cash book that which we have received. Now we are going to prepare the BRS, bank reconciliation statement. Now we have to assume that, or we have to consider whether we are going to check the bank book to CB or CB to BB. That we have to get a clarity. Assume that we are going to come from the CB. Okay. So what is the balance as per CB? That is 31,500. Now, so we are going to prepare as per the cash book. So what is the cash book balance as on 30th September? That is 31,500. We are assuming that these other transactions have not considered by the cash book. Okay. So now, so 31,500. Now, unrecorded deposit is there. That means which is not recorded in the cash book, which is a deposit. That means which increases our bank balance. What we have to do? Add or minus? Add. So add unrecorded deposit. So how much? 4,000. Now, Let us come to the bank statement. Outstanding checks. That means the company or the ABC Limited has an outstanding check of 3000. That means the check has to be cleared. Still the check has to be presented at the bank. That means it's a minus. Outstanding check. How much? 3000. Right? Now, deposits in transit. The customer has deposited in the bank, but still that has not credited to the bank. So what will happen? Or this you can say it as a phone pay lo processing and partundi kada. So similarly you can consider that. So what we have to do it? We have to add it because it is a deposit. How much? 5000. Next, bank charges. Bank charges is considered by the bank, but it is not considered by the cash. So bank charges should be deducted. How much? 200. Now, interest on savings account. Interest on savings account. It's a add because it's an income for us. How much interest? 300. Direct debit for the loan repayment. It's like a auto pay which is debited from our account. Minus EMI. How much? 2000. Next, bank error. A check for 1000 rupees issued by ABC Limited was mistakenly recorded as 1200. So 1000 rupees check ni 1200 ki record chesamu. Actual ga enta record chesamu? 1200. But what is the actual amount? It's only 1000. So what we can do is the difference amount you can reduce, or if you want a better presentation or a better clarity, what you can do is 1200, the same you can nullify it by minusing it and add again 1000 rupees. So like this you can do it. Okay. So now, so a check issued for the 1000. That means we have to, how much we have to minus actually? 1000 rupees we have to minus. But actually how much we recorded it? We recorded it for the 1200. So only the difference amount, it got deducted more. 200 I am going to add it here. Hope you got this point. So 1000 rupees deduct cheyalsindi, 1200 deduct chesaru. Okay. So instead of 1000 rupees, they have deducted more 1200. So that difference of 200 has to be credited back to the account. That's why I am adding it. So 1000 rupees minus avali, but it has deducted 1200. Whatever the difference 200 should come back to our account, right? So that 200 I am adding it back to the account. So we have considered all the accounts, right? Now let us identify the adjusted cash balance. 31,000 plus 4,000, that is 35,500 minus 3,000, 32,500, again plus, let's take a calculator for this. So ultimately what is the balance? 35,800. So this is the adjusted closing balance. Clear? Now similar way we have to prepare the adjusted closing balance for bank as well, 35,000, and after considering all these. Okay. So now let us prepare for that as well. Balance as per the bank how much? 35,000. 35,000. Now outstanding checks, that means the checks which have been issued but not yet presented at the bank, they have not considered any 3,000. So what they have to do? They have to consider it now. So that means minus 3,000. Similar way, deposits in transit, that also should be added. So whatever that you are doing it here, same way you have to add it as per the as per the bank balance as well. Then you will get the same figure as 35,800. So finally both will be included. Clear? So this is how you have to prepare the BRS statement.